Okay. Now, in terms of program, mga produkto yung nakita natin kanina, ang susunod na slide naman ay pinapakita kung ano yung mga programa ng Food and Nutrition Research Institute na nagpapalaganap nito mga technologies na ito at mga produkto. So, unang-una ay align ng ating program sa Sustainable Development Goals. Okay? Yun nga, yung mga sinabi natin kanina, kung masusunod na masusuportahan, ang nutrisyon ay mas magiging productive yung mga bata. Pero hindi naman natin nilalahat na yung mga batang malnourished, mahina ulo lahat. Kasi marami kaming scholar ng DOST na nanggaling sa mga napakahihirap na pamilya at talaga namang nagte-testify sila na talaga kulang na kulang sa pagkain, pero nagto-qualify pa rin sa DOST scholarship. So hindi naman lahat, ano? Pero malaki ang porsyento na nagkakaroon ng disadvantage. Now, we have the Philippine Action Plan for Nutrition. Ito ay under ito sa Nutrition Council, ano? At ang namumuno dyan ay ang Department of Health. Meron din tayong programa na nakatutok doon sa 1,000 days law. Okay? Ano ba yung 1,000 days na yan? Alam na ninyo ito. Pero nung una ko nabasa, ay humingi ako ng paliwanag. Yung pala, ang bata ay siyam na buwan, 270 days na nasa tiyan. At pag nag-birthday ng 2 taon, 365 days ang isang taon. So, 270 plus 730 ay 1,000 days. So, pag sinabi 1,000 days, yun yung mga nag-birthday ng 2 years old. So, yun ang tinututukan. Kasi dito napakataas. Kahit doon sa 0 to 5, itong first 100 days ang very critical. At of course, aligned din sila sa Science for the People program. Now, yung first 1,000 days talaga ay considered window of opportunity for nutrition intervention. Kasi ang lakas, okay, ng bata nagsisimula pa lang doon sa loob ng tiyan. No? Pag ang nanay ay maraming deficiency o mahina katawan o masasaktin, yan kadamay ang bata. Okay? Kaya bihira na dito siguro yung pwede pa mga anak, pero kaya sabihan natin na importante na sa panahon ng pagbubuntis, maganda ang listado ng kalusugan nyo. Huwag kayong maninigarilyo o iinom ng alcohol. This is a golden opportunity because the period between the first 6 months to 2 years old is characterized by rapid growth and development, and also the vulnerability to malnutrition and infection, as well as the susceptibility to nutritional deficits, and that will lead to long-term and irreversible physical and mental damage. If we will not address this problem, the situation becomes irreversible. Next slide is the Malnutrition Reduction Program. Maganda ang kanilang diagram or visual dito. It is a scale, okay, which has demand and supply on both sides. So, the DOST program, led by FNRI, addresses the persistent problem of malnutrition, particularly among 0 to 5 years old. And since 2012, FNRI has been the front runner of DOST in the promotion and implementation of the Malnutrition Reduction Program, MRP, which is a science-based nutrition intervention program that has been crafted to address the high prevalence of underweight for age 6 months to 35 months of Filipino children. It is particularly targeting our so-called geographically isolated disadvantaged areas or GIDAs. Now, there are several government nutrition intervention. Hindi lang naman ang DOST. Meron po ang DSWD, meron ang DepEd, at ito ay kino-coordinate sa ating Nutrition Council. There are, but the intervention program for 6 to 35 months are really the opportunity for FNRI. Kasi yung para sa DepEd, ito yung mga nag-aaral na. So, mas malaki na yan than 35 months. Okay? At doon naman sa DSWD ay meron din silang kaibang target. Okay? Although meron din mga overlaps. So, what would be our strategy? The next slide called the supply strategy describes them. One is the establishment of complementary food processing facilities all over the country. Ito po ay inumpisahan na nung panahon pa ni Secretary Montejo, at ang gusto kong mangyari, ito ay madagdagan pa ng madagdagan dahil napakaganda ng experience doon sa mga lugar na pinagtayuan ng processing facilities for complementary food. Pwedeng ang nag-partner ng FNRI ay local government unit. Halimbawa, anong bayan ba yun sa Leyte? Haro ba yun? Or yung katabing bayan? Na ang kanilang municipality talaga ang nag-lead. Or yung mga NGOs, like ngayon, bisita natin yung foundation ng Breza Volunteers, no? NGO, at I remember very well, it was during the Technology Transfer Day in Iloilo where they attended that they acquired the license for the food that we have developed. Okay? Isa sa mga achievement ng Technology Transfer Day doon sa Iloilo ay yung pagkuha ng Breza Volunteers ng license to manufacture these blends or food. Then we have private organizations. Okay? Meron tayong mga private organizations. Halimbawa, yung sa Valenzuela, kapartner natin ng PCCI. Okay? Although kasali rin ang local government unit. And then, of course, there are our micro or MSMEs, okay, na nag-adapt ng technology at ginawa itong negosyo. Kaya ito ay ang example nito ay ang ating bisita ngayon na si Mr. Rocky Doktor, okay, ng NutriDesk, okay, and of course yung grupo naman ng sa Sultan Kudarat, I think is really academic. No? So nandiyan po yung mga retrato ng mga functional food. Now another strategy, okay, next is the demand strategy. So yung supply, tinitingnan natin, sinisuguro natin na mayroong supply. Okay? Ang isa pa lang magandang halimbawa nito ay yung province of Quezon, ano? Na as LGU, nagtayo din sila. Okay? Now, the demand strategy is really a package for the improvement of nutrition of young children. Okay? So, at the demand strategy end, we are having the so-called DOST-Pinoy advocacy among LGUs and local chief executives. Okay? And this is really done through the issuance of resolutions by the municipal or provincial government on the adoption of this strategy, which may include their funding support. So may mga LGUs po na nag-adapt na ng ganitong programa, like meron silang feeding of children for 120 days with complementary food blends and snack foods, and they also capacitate their community health workers para alam nila itong nutrition program natin. I have witnessed this in a indigenous people community in Zamboanga del Sur na talaga namang they are, I forgot the name of the town, but it is, ano yung pangalan? Hindi ko na matandaan, pero ito talaga ay isa sa pinaka poorest town in the whole country. Okay? Kaya naman ako natuwa doon dahil at that time retired ako, advisor ako ng DAP sa kanilang Masters in Development Management Program. And meron inassign sa akin isang advisee na taga-nutrition council. Naka-assign siya doon sa area na yon. Sa Region 9, pinili niya na mag-introduce nitong ating programa doon sa indigenous community na yon, na ang hirap marating. Talaga namang yung sasakyan mo ang susuko dahil napakahirap ng daan, at kung ikaw naman sasakay sa habal-habal ay napakamahal din, no? So, ika nga, marami silang disadvantage doon. isang naobserbahan ko lang doon, wala silang kanya-kanya lupa. Lahat ng kanilang ino-occupy ay communal property ng kanilang indigenous tribe. And medyo ang advance lang sila doon. Napakarami mag-anak. Oo, ang dadami pong anak, no? Pero mataas din ang mortality rate, no? So ang unang ginawa nung nag-aaral sa kanyang re-entry program, asikasuhin na magkaroon ng programa na yung community mismo magtulong-tulong na mag-produce ng mga ingredients para dito sa mga complementary food. So ang unang niyang ginawa, makapag-secure ng isang communal area na yun ang ginawa nilang taniman ng golden mongo, tawag nila. Ito yung munggo na nagagaling sa San Mateo, Isabela, na napakataas po ng yield. Okay, so bilib din ako doon sa kakatsaga nung gumawa ng thesis na yun, dahil going all the way para lang makumbinsi yung tao na magtanim at mag-source ng munggo para maging inputs nila sa nutrition program. Pero supportive din ang mayor nila doon, no? Hindi ko alam kung mayor pa siya ngayon, pero doon lang ako nakakita ng munisipyo na libre lahat ang libing. Oo. Teka muna, from womb to tomb actually, libre din ang mga anak at meron pang allowance pagkatapos mga anak. Hindi naman sa i-encourage sila, kundi talagang kailangan. No? At libre din, meron na silang provisions. Pag namatay yung isang tao sa kanilang munisipyo, kumpleto na ang servisyo na walang bayad. Okay? At since problema nga nila malnutrition, prone sila sa mga diseases. Kaya meron silang isang malaking lugar na parang pa siyang multipurpose hall na parang converted na ospital. Kung ano man ang medyo epidemic proportions doon sa lugar na yun, doon lahat dinadala. Okay? Anyway, nabanggit ko yun kasi sila isang nag-benefit, pero hindi naman talaga FRRI ang nag-implement. Ginamit lang yung technologies ng FRRI at yan ay through the initiative of a master's student at DAP. Now, let's take a look at the success stories. The successful outputs of our technology interventions as of 2018, there are already 37 complementary food processing facilities that have been established. And this year, we have 8 new facilities that we intend to establish. Okay? Kung talagang marami lang tayong resources, gusto natin maikalat yan sa lahat ng lugar dahil lahat naman halos ng bayan, whether poor or rich, kasi kung sinabi mo rich, mataas ang mga income taxes na nakukulit, pero namin din nilang malnourished. No? Ang halimbawa na lang ay ang probinsya ng Cebu, na considered na Cebu maunlad, pero ang percentage ng mga malnutrition dyan ay mataas. At ang poverty incidence. Now, the other measure of success na pwede natin matawag ay 109 municipalities and cities in 40 different provinces ang na-cover na nung training at advocacy on malnutrition reduction program. Kung ihahapin mo sa 1,600 municipalities and cities, maliit pa lang ang 109. Sa provinces, of course, since naka-distribute yan, this is about half of provinces that we have. And they have trained 4,594 community health workers and have facilitated the approval of 19 local resolutions adopting the DOST-Pinoy Nutrition Intervention Strategy. Okay? As well as the number of children benefited from complementary feeding funded by the LGUs. The outcomes, okay? The significant improvement in nutritional status in several areas can be seen in the following what we call success stories. In Mercedes, Camarines Norte, in 4-year times, from number 1 municipality with the highest number of malnourished children, bumaba na sila sa rango na 9, okay? Sa pinakamaraming malnourished. Sa Katarman, Samar, kung mapapansin niyo, ito talaga yung mga poorest provinces. Noong 2014, 11.1% ang malnutrition rate. Noong 2017, dahil sa efforts ng LGU para ma-improve ang status, bumaba siya sa 2.1% malnutrition rate. It was spearheaded by Vice Mayor Bonsol of that town. And ngayon nga po, ang ating isa sa mga resource persons ay ang ating mayor ng Brooks Point, Palawan, na after 4 months of the feeding program, 153 underweight dropped to 127, 87 severely underweight dropped to 32, and 32 normal children increased to 105, okay, in the total sample that they have selected. Now, I'm about to conclude by saying that MRP is also included in NEDA's priority plan. Kaya yung mga, for example, companies or institutions that will donate to these programs, okay, are entitled to full tax deduction equivalent to their donations. So ito naman ang incentive na binibigay ng NEDA. Okay? And finally, ito naman ang ating magiging mga testimonial ng ating adopters. Ang Negrense Volunteers for Change Foundation has implemented their bingo meals where they are needed most. Ito tama, sa Zamboanga del Sur, yung binanggit ko kanina, no? In Marawi and in the various sari-sari stores. And then kanilang mga picture dito at ipapaliwanag mamaya ni Mille. Okay? Nagulat ako nung mag-attend si Pilay ko nung Technology Transfer Day kasi kami ni Mille ay nakatrabaho na nung pang 80s, ano? Kasi siya naman ang head ng Negros, ano tawag doon? Producers Association. Okay? Sila yung mga grupo ng mga babae sa Negros na nung panahon po ng kahirapan dahil sa pagbaba ng presyo ng sugar ay tumulong sila sa kanilang mga planter ng mga asawa para magkaroon ng mga micro enterprises in the region. Kinonvert nila yung mga hobbies nila, may nagbe-bake, may nag-art, merong gumagawa ng handicrafts, kinonvert nila yan into businesses employing the families of the sakadas, okay, so that they can free themselves from hunger. Kaya napakaganda ng naging istorya ng advocacy ni Mille Kilay ko. And there are other MRT partners. I have already mentioned ang presence ng Nutridence, ng Brooks Point, ng Sultan Kudarat State University. At meron din tayong listahan dito, if you will be interested later on, kung ano yung mga LGUs na nakipag-partner na rin. Halimbawa, dito sa ito, yung LGU ng San Mateo Isabela, dahil na-source sila ng Munggo, ay pag-partner na rin sila. Itong LGU ng Giginto, Bulacan, hindi ko alam kung ano yung input nila dito. Alam ko, dito yung mga Bulacan Garden people. And of course, in Calawag, in Bulalakaw, Oriental Mindoro, in San Lorenzo Luis, Camarines Norte, Iriga, Camarines Sur, Aroroy, Masbate, Capiz, Cabatuan, Iloilo, Bayawan, Negros Oriental, Palo Leyte, Baybay Leyte. Dito sa Baybay pala yun, munisipyo, Lady Mayor. Katarman, Northern Samar, Tunggawan, Zamboanga, Sibugay, Osamis, Misamis Occidental, Kidapawan, North Cotabato, Gigapit, Surigao del Norte, and then we have the following universities which have partnered with us: Apayao State University, Ifugao State University, Cagayan State University, Polytechnic, University of the Philippines in Mulanay, Quezon, Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, University of Antique, and the University of Science and Technology in Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro. We have Davao del Norte State College and Sultan Kudarat State University. There is one private university that has joined, and this is Xavier University in Cagayan de Oro. Ways forward, okay? Sabi dito ng FNRI, we need 3.94 billion to help 3.28 million stunted children. And just to give them one pack of complementary food will cost 10 pesos a pack that is needed by one child per day. Okay. 32.82 million pesos per day is needed to feed 3.28 million stunted children. 120 feeding days is needed to effect a change. And currently, DOST-FNRI can only cover 2% of the demand. Okay? Yun ang sitwasyon ko. So, the last picture is, of course, a call for ensuring a bright future for our children. So, ito po ang aming misyon na makatulong din sa ibang ahensya na in-charge din ng health, ng nutrition, at siyempre, concern natin ang ating mga bata ay lumaking ayos at productive. So, magkakaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na marinig ang ating mga bisita. Maraming salamat.